There are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They are going to kill us all. Saddam is a horrible human being who sells babies and rapes souls. We must invade. We need to invade right away because the world's safety depends on it. If we don't invade, the terrorists win. I swear it. I swear it's true. Or so they said. Do you remember when they told us this? Do you remember when politicians from all supposed sides, the media and the establishment in general, told us we needed to invade Iraq for the good of the world? I do. I remember because I believed it. I was fully suckered by the propaganda and the lies, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, because how was I to know better? Yes, the internet existed back then, but it was still in its infancy. The information and truth were likely out there somewhere, but not anywhere I knew about, that's for sure. There were a few partisan leftists against the war because a Republican was in charge, but who would trust them? We no longer have an excuse. We have no reason to believe the lies and propaganda the horrendously immoral ruler class shoved down our throats. They don't care about the world's safety. They don't care about ordinary people. Hell, they don't even care about oil. But they do care about profit. They care about globalism and forcing the West to accept people from the third world, ironically because we bomb them. They care about selling bombs, and if the government doesn't use those bombs, how can they sell more bombs? They care about creating a perpetual enemy for the government to protect us from, but not until they've let the same enemy through the gates because compassion or something. It's bullcrap. It's all bullcrap. War is hell and should be avoided at all costs, unless it's absolutely necessary. When the World Trade Center fell, the West responded in the most disproportionate way possible, short of nuking the entire Middle East. Instead of taking a strategic look at the situation and responding to terrorism with information, ostracism and precision, our governments responded with invasions and drone strikes. They ultimately proved Osama bin Laden right. I say they because I didn't do a thing, nor did the majority of people in the West, yet here we are watching another mess unfold before our very eyes. The invasion of Iraq saw the destabilization of an entire region, the rise of ISIS, and the European migrant crisis. Mission accomplished, my hairy white ass. How long until some neo-libcon says we need to invade Syria? Oh wait, they already have. It's for the good of freedom, you see. Let's just ignore the massive profits for all those warmongering military contractors who also happen to be major political donors. Not to mention the central banks who get to lend even more money to governments. All for the people, of course. I mean, they do it for the good of their nation as they loudly claim. I'm sure Australia will come along for the ride. We don't really have a choice at this stage. Our destiny is tied to the US, whether we like it or not. Our rulers could at least voice their objections and be reluctant followers, but apparently, even that's too hard. I'll say it now. Assad didn't use chemical weapons on civilians. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Show me the evidence. Hell, show me a confession because last I checked he flat out denies it. By all accounts, he was winning the war against Islamist rebels. Why the hell would he gas civilians? What strategic purpose would it serve? Do you think he did it for fun? Hey world, you know that war I'm winning against Islamic terrorists? Yeah, I'd rather lose that war and be deposed instead because, I'm just a stupid bastard. How dumb do our rulers think he is? Hell, how dumb do they think we are? 15 years ago, we could be forgiven for not knowing the truth because the rulers controlled the flow of information. Now, it's out in the open for everyone to see, yet they still pretend we are blind. They treat us with the master's disdain for his slaves. They treat us as inferior and ignorant, somehow incapable of using our own eyes and brains. It's up to us, the people, the well-reasoned and aware, to call out the fraud. We need to punish those in office for betraying and lying to us. This was the whole point of voting for Donald Trump. It was the whole point of Brexit, but our rulers are doing all they can to keep their own power. They are doing all they can to put us, the people, back in our place as slaves and tax cattle. We need new political parties. We need to stop voting for old parties of the worst generation in history, the baby boomers. No offense to boomers watching this video. My generation aren't much better. We are Generation Social Justice after all. Boomers took unprecedented peace and used it to build bombs and meddle in the internal affairs of sovereign nations, all while destroying the traditional family, attacking Western culture, and inviting millions of third world migrants who have no interest in preserving our history. Now look where we are. The world is destabilizing and Western rulers are telling the serfs to shut up and take it, whether we like it or not. New parties, hilariously called far-right Nazis by the elite, are rising in Europe, and it's time for the same in Anglo-Western countries. We need parties that respect borders, respect the people, and respect Western nations' culture and history. We need parties that say, hell no, we won't go when asked to fight another useless foreign war. Wars our brave young men have been fighting for over a century now. Sold a lie, they fight and die, but don't ask why, you Russian spy. So-called far-right Nazi parties are nothing more than old-school conservatives, labelled as such because the left have no argument against them, so their only option is to demonise and attack. Notwithstanding the fact that Nazi is short for National Socialist German Workers' Party. They can't argue against the ideas because they know by debating them they give them legitimacy. The only way they can win is to stop anyone from hearing an alternate view. This is why there has been such a concerted push for censorship on the internet. You think it's because the ideas being censored are bad? Ha! What smart man would want to censor a bad idea? No. A smart man wants bad ideas spoken loudly because bad ideas make easy fodder for good ones. Good ideas need bad ideas because they create an undeniable contrast. This will always be the juxtaposition of life. We need to suffer in order to understand the good. If there was only bliss, it would have no value. We need to know what suffering is so we can do everything possible to stop it from happening. Individuals need to find genuine meaning in their own lives and empower others to do the same. Bad ideas are suffering. They enhance the suffering of the world, they make the world worse, and they win when they silence the good. All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing, as they say. Don't let them silence you. Don't stop calling out the actions of fools and tyrants. Don't let those who seek to dominate have power over your thoughts. Encourage new political parties who dedicate themselves to meaning and morality. Punish those who seek to dominate, control, and steal. Do not compromise with tyrants. Give them no concession, and don't listen to the lie that a vote for a small party is a waste, because it's not. When parties betray their mandate and their duty to protect life, liberty, and property, vote for someone else. Don't fall for the establishment trap of supporting someone because you supported them before. Don't listen to their nonsense. They lied to you for your entire life. You shouldn't trust a word these power-hungry troglodytes spew. We simply must hold them to account. The rulers pillage our money, use it to buy votes, then send our men off to die in foreign lands for no reason other than the profit of the elite. Not to mention the suffering they cause in said foreign lands. What gives our rulers the right to do this? Who are they defending us from? Apparently lobbing cruise missiles at a foreign capital isn't an act of war, but hey, I'm part of the old school. In other words, my principles are my principles and will always be my principles. I must be getting old. Another sign of age is rolling your eyes at obvious manipulative propaganda. Did I say sign of age? I meant sign of the age, because I'd imagine there are plenty of teenagers able to see right through the rubbish. In fact, I'd say they are likely better at it than my generation ever were. They've been raised in a time when lies and propaganda are sitting right next to the light of the truth, and when you shed light on lies, only the blind cannot see. Chemical weapons of mass destruction, my brown butthole. I don't believe it, and neither should you. It's a lie, and it's a blatant lie. It's a lie told under the assumption that we are all blind moles living underground, unable to look into the light in case we go even more blind or something like that. War is hell, people. War is hell. It's hell in the most literal definition. It is the hell your priest warned you about, and bombing sovereign nations is Hell's Gate. The rulers start the wars, but they never have to fight them. They sell the bombs, but they never see their children blown up. They take the money, you make the sacrifice. They are unworthy of their position, they are without honour, and they are undeserving of anything but derision. Say no to war, say no to lies, tell them to go to hell, and never ever return. Thanks for listening. I'll see you when I see ya.